Hi, welcome to my channel. If you clicked on the title of this, you are meant to hear this message. This is a different message. This message has something to do, basically bringing into your awareness karmics, soul ties, and destiny swapping. This message is basically to teach you examples of how those things affect a person. And I had got a major download, guys. This and it's so real. So I'm just filming this now. And I'm gonna just start and open with this. This video is for entertainment purposes only. I do not have physical proof, right? I do not have physical proof, tangible evidence for what I'm about to say. So this is entertainment purposes only. But I will definitely ask you to, since we're in this new age of Aquarius, it's like the age of I know, right? So let's put away this physical realm for a second. And since there is a physical court, there has to be a spiritual court, right? What is above, so below. What's below, so above, right? So it's definite reflection. And you can research that. A lot of ancient cultures have this concept of as above, so below. Even Lakota traditions, there is a concept of a spiritual court, a higher court, and a physical court, or physical. They use another term, but I'm just going to say court for you. So this message, here we go. I had a channel message about Kurt Cobain and Kourtney Love, right? So I'm just going to go into it. So basically, we all know, and even at the time, if I don't know how old you guys are, but everyone had questions of what happened to Kurt Cobain. Everyone had questions. Everyone suspected it was her, right? Naturally. Oh, it was her. Then people were like, oh, you're just blaming his, baby mama, wife, or whatever she was, right? And then no one really, it was because no one believed that he killed himself with a shotgun. If you know how he died, he supposedly shot himself in the face with a shotgun. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's questionable. So I've heard this story before. I remember years ago when I was like in my early 20s, I watched a documentary with her, like about it, and it was a BBC documentary, and it left a whole bunch of open answer. It was just like there was so much weird stuff going on that it was almost like a murder. So I was learning whole song Violet because I play at the park for the kids, so I play different music. So why did I get a download from her lyrics? It literally exposed what happened. So this is the download I got. Basically, we all know she's quite questionary. She's very you would question her like intent. First of all, I'm sure like she's just very, you would just question this person because of just how she is. But she the download I got, let me just go into it. I'm sorry, it's just so much. If you understand how I'm feeling right now, it's just I have so much evidence. I have so much spiritual evidence. Let me say the spiritual evidence. I have so much spiritual evidence. And this is more, for example, for you out there, because I think this channel is going to be directed to more of a creative energy collective, people that are very creative and have gifts, and empaths, starseeds, clairvoyants, psychics, mediums, tarot readers, healers, shamans, all these people like in a creative way. So I just wanted the message that's coming out is directed. This is an example of why to be careful. Let me just go in. So basically what I felt is what happened to him. So basically, she was his karmic. She always wanted to be famous. She was a child prostitute. She was prostitute. I had the energy of she was prostituting very young for things, for material things. She has that no spirit, actually. She doesn't have a soul. She's one of those empty vessels that are wandering around the earth wanting and taking. And there's people like that that run big companies. That's why a lot of people don't get enough when they get at the top. They want more because they have this insatiable empty pit in them. So she's one of those beings. This is for entertainment purposes only. She is one of those beings, right? So she was doing things that a teenager shouldn't be doing, for little things, for trinkets, for the latest fashion, for shoes, for she was doing sexual things that were just, I mean, and it is evident she did strip for a little bit. That's what they say. But I felt like she was doing more than that, very young. She really wanted to be a star. She wanted the fame. She wanted um the material gains. She just wanted possession. She wanted to be in the spotlight. That's where she was coming from. And then we have Kurt Cobain, where he was in a lot of pain. He was in a lot of hurt and despair because he was actually an empath. He was an empath at the time, but he was feeling all the world's problems at once. And I don't know if you were aware that he had a stomach issue from stress. And it wasn't that his life, I mean, his personal life wasn't so great either, but I feel like he was taking on all the stress around him and his community, because at that time in Seattle, wherever he's from, in Washington, it was very impoverished. There wasn't any work. I mean, if you think about it, why are young kids doing heroin? That's like, why are young Caucasian kids? That's people don't realize Seattle is that area where they're from. I'm not going to say Seattle because they were all in different places, and Seattle is just a main city. But that area of Washington, that region was very impoverished. It was considered basically, I'm not going to say it, but it was predominantly young Caucasian people on heroin, right? Like that was the hood. Let's just say it's the ghetto. That was the ghetto. He was raised in the fucking ghetto. I'm gonna say that. And you guys just do what you want with that information. So, but he was taking on all the negative energy that was around him. So it made him have this issue with his stomach that he was so stressed. And that's where he got that signature scream from. That's where he got, channeled his, only way he was able to release that shit was through music. And then how he met his musicians, however. But this is what I want you to really pay attention to. He's an empath, right? He's releasing a lot of the pain that he's feeling, and people can relate to that because everyone's feeling that same pain. That's why he had such a momentum. That's why it kind of took effect. Like people were like, oh, what's this sound? Who is this? What's going on? Like, because he's releasing all the pain that everyone felt. So now I'm not going to get too much on his little success stuff, but I'm going to say this. She saw that. She sized him up right away. She knew right away that he was going to be a star. She told herself, I mean, if you listen to her early stuff, and it's funny because I was inspired. I wasn't gonna do this reading because I just wasn't feeling like, I don't know, but I just got called into spirits like, just do it, just say it, just say it, just say it. Say it, don't spray it. But anyway, she was attracted to him. She saw everything he was about to accomplish. She knew right away. So she hung on to him. She got her little claws into him. And she basically wanted to ride his coattail to success. That's why she popped the baby out super quick. It was entrapment. So she was his karmic, right? So his energy is very kind of docile because he's going through healing. He's very sensitive. She was able to manipulate him in ways to get him like really in a situation where she's dominating him, right? And he was on drugs. So his energetic level was very low. I do believe she was even doing some other things to keep him bound to her. I do believe she has a grandma that was, she has a grandma in the arts, the spiritual arts. I do believe. So she probably did some entanglement spell. Okay. She did something to really keep him down, but he's an easy target because he's on drugs. He's stuck in those emotions. Um, so the story is basically the success came, right? She's riding on this coattail. Her band gets better. Her songs get better, right? But then he doesn't want that. He doesn't want the money. He doesn't want the fame. He doesn't want all the things that she wants. He doesn't want those things. She wants those things. And I feel like he came to realization, like he realized who she was. He saw her. He woke up to her. And it was too late though, because they already had the house. They already had the cars. They already had everything that she wanted. You think she was going to give that up? You think she was going to just say no and okay, honey, we're going to give up this lifestyle and stop doing what we're doing? No. And she this is another thing, entertainment purposes only. While she was prostituting as a teenage prostitute, she got busted by a detective, a police officer, which later became a detective, and that was her inside person. So she had connections to the Washington Police Department in some way. This is a download. So this is coming from not the spirit, this physical realm. This is from another realm. So she has connections to someone in the inside. This is going to make sense later, right? So this person she met when she got busted doing her little lady of the night stuff as a teenager, right? She got busted. The man basically wanted to be somewhat of a pimp or coach or whatever to hers. But so she kept in touch with this person. That was kind of her side piece, whatever. So she was always complaining about how, oh, we could be doing this, we could be doing that, to this police officer that that she met. And somehow discussion, it's even true in the BBC. If you can find it, it's about his death. It's done by the BBC. It's an old documentary. It probably came out like maybe a year after he died. And they were asking all the little heroin addict friends. They all said it was her. They all said it was her, right? Even one guy, I'll never forget him. He was in a band, and he said that she offered him $50,000 to make it look like an accident to whack Kurt Cobain, right? So this is physical evidence that kind of just fell through the cracks, and this is actually in a documentary. You can look it up. It came out maybe like a year or two after he died, and it's by the BBC. That's all you probably do your research and look it up. But that man that said that was dead by the end of the filming of that documentary. Because at the end of it, the documentary was like, oh, the guy that said that, he was found dead by the train tracks. So that shows you that someone's trying to keep that hush-hush, right? So basically, it was her. She did it. She didn't hire anyone. She wore a yellow raincoat. She knew exactly how to set up the scene because of her guy that she knew, right? She was going to hire someone, but she couldn't trust him. She couldn't trust keeping her mouth closed. So she ended up doing it herself. I visualized her. What she did was try to soothe him in a way and go back to old times, but she actually got him really high at some point to where he was already intoxicated. And then she just put it in his mouth and did it for him. That is the message I got. That is the download. It was her this whole time. And a lot of people knowingly knew it was her. A lot of people said it was her. It was like their intuition knew. So this is what I'm telling you. A lot of things that people know is their intuition. Just about by the other guy that's in the headlines that I won't say his name. But everyone knew he was up to no good. And look, he's not. So the reason why I'm telling you this is because you have that energy like Kurt Cobain. you have a light around you. Just be mindful of people that try to ride your coattail, because you have to be very, 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 very discerning on who you let in your energy and space. It doesn't matter what they say. Don't let them impress you with their words and them trying to praise you and make you feel good about yourself, because that's manipulation. Judge them for who they are. Find out who they hang out with. You do investigations before you let people in your circle, in your trust. Of course, you can have associations, but I'm just saying, like, be very mindful. So this video is not to be taken like, oh, I'm telling on somebody. I mean, everyone knows what happened intuitively. If you look at things and you see how she came up after he died, I mean, and then how her life unfolded after that, that was karma. So basically, she tried to steal the star's light. And you have to be very mindful of who you have around you, because it can be siphoning your energy. And if you look at some of her lyrics, she is aware of those concepts that I told you: karmics, destiny swapping, energy. She's aware of those concepts. You have to look up who her grandma was. Her grandma was a writer, and I think it was like metaphysical things. So she has some ideas of things. I don't know what happened to her as a kid. I just don't think she has no soul. That's why she's the perfect person to do things like that, because she has no soul. She doesn't have it. There's people that don't have souls, but they mimic people that have souls. There's people that don't have souls. They mimic emotions. They learn to be like people with souls. So you have to really use your discernment and really use your spiritual feelers, right? And I just want to reiterate, this is a spiritual download. I have no tangible physical proof for what I'm claiming or saying. This is for entertainment purposes. But for those that are connected, intuitive mediums, they know there is also a spiritual court. Their messages and evidence is downloaded from there. So it's like the iCloud, right? So the message basically is, there's something big you're going to create, and you have to be very mindful of the people in your circle, and don't be so trusting. Use your intuitive abilities to feel out people's energies, and look them. Don't be scared to look people up. Don't be scared to Google them. Don't be scared to fact check their asses too, and don't be scared to ask questions. And I feel like with Kurt Cobain, he was in this energy of like, he didn't really believe in himself, but everyone around him saw his potential. And the drugs, drugs, you don't really, honestly, when you're on drugs, you're susceptible to all kinds of lower vibrations. When you're drinking all the time, you're susceptible to spell work and all kind of lower vibrations, attacks, spiritual attacks. You even are susceptible to evil eye attacks. When you're drinking, when you're doing drugs, it lowers your energy, right? It lowers your energy field. And you're more susceptible to those people. So he just couldn't really see until it was too late, and there was nowhere for him to go. So my message is for you to just be very mindful at this time who you have in your circle. If people lie, you catch them in a lie, just disregard them. If they're too praising you, just look at who they are and use your own intuition to what to do. And take this story that I'm telling you as an example of how to really maneuver when you start becoming this big ball of light, because you're going to start attracting a lot of people, a lot of different energies, and you have to be very discerning of who is real and who is fake, and really look at that person and like really feel them out and really listen to what they're saying. So I hope this message helps whoever listens to it. And it was basically something to give you advice and to look at a situation, how a person that can shine so bright could basically, she destiny swapped him at the end of the day. When you say, at the end of the day, he died and she got her band up a little bit more, and then she did some acting, which she always wanted it. And just remember how she was acting when she was got a little bit of fame. She didn't know how to act. That's all she wanted, you know? And she would kill for what she wanted. She would kill her partner. She didn't love him. She wanted to ride his coattail up to the fame. And then when she realized that he wasn't like she was. He didn't want the money. He wanted to do art. He wanted to express. If you ever look at him, he wasn't impressed with the money. He wanted to feel better. He wanted to feel happier inside. Not So I do feel his energy. He was an empath. He was a very powerful empath, but he wasn't allowed to tap into his gifts because of the drugs. So this is a message I have for you. If it brings you any insight, you know, please leave a comment. Take it as I guess, like, you know how people talk in fables and people tell stories as a way of learning. It's an example of way of learning, and to be very mindful about your circle, because there's people that see what you don't see yet. You might not see it, but they know for sure. They know who you are. So just be very careful out there. All right. Love you guys. Take care. Okay. So I forgot to pull some cards because I just want to show you the energy that's there. And Spirit, just clarify the reading I just did about Kurt Cobain and Kourtney Love. Let's just get some cards. I just want to show the energy of this, the reading. Because this is more or less a lesson for you guys out there. Like, just be very discerning of the energies you invite in your life, in your personal life, you know. Touch and go energies is different, but people that you really trust and love. Spirit, show me, clarify this reading. Show me some cards. Okay. So we have the Two of Cups, partnership. We have the Six of Pentacles. That's about generosity, sharing, giving. That did come out in reverse, so it could be taking. Knight of Cups, wanting. This fell on the floor. And then we have the Nine of Wands in reverse. So basically, the story is about a partnership, right? The story I told you is about a partnership. Regardless if it was good or bad, they were together as partners. They both were into music. They had, a family together. That's basically the energy. Next, giving and receiving. This could also be taking. So this is the Six of Pentacles. This is about giving, receiving, but this is also be about taking. Abuse of generosity, because it came out, I told you it came out in reverse when it fell down. So we have the Two of Cups, which is a partnership, love, and then we have the Six of Cups, but it came out in reverse when it fell on the floor. So this is going to be like someone abusing generosity, someone abusing someone's giving, and that's why I was feeling the Kurt Cobain has this energy of just being, like, he didn't feel like, I don't feel like he owned anything. I feel like everything was used, like things that he bought, he didn't care if people used it or not. He would let people borrow things that they never return. He'd never go looking for it. You know, he wasn't really like clinging to materialism. And I feel like he was such a giver in a way, giving, but then people abuse it. And then we have the Nine of Cups. So this is about someone having all they want. Having everything, which you have a certain success with music. I mean, to him, he had more than enough. For her, it wasn't enough. They could always have more. For him, I feel like his energy was content with what he had. And it wasn't like he wanted anything else. It's like You know, he has abundant achievement, material success. But then we have the 9 of Wands in reverse. So when it's upright, it's all about resilience. You're almost there, successful, but it's in reverse. So it's more of like, an energy of lack of trust, struggle. There was a struggle, a lack of trust with abundance, right? It's coming. This came out right after. So there was a power struggle over the abundance that they have accumulated together. There was a power struggle, because I'm also feeling this energy is when he started to wake up and really get to know her and see what she was really wanting. Because I wanted to say this. I have this feeling that she pretty much ran the whole relationship, because he was in such a low state of being. Early, like in the beginning, he just let her just be a tyrant and just, do whatever, boss him around or whatever. But he started getting a little bit wiser to her, because money makes people like, it just enhances who that person really is. So he started seeing who she was with the money. Like, he's like, oh, she's not even a good person. When they were broke, struggling and stuff, and they had that bond of like music, whatever. Sorry, ambulance. 911, guys, 911. Let that pass. Yeah, so when they're struggling, she was in, he saw her differently, but then he started really seeing her when they started getting some money. And then it became a struggle. It became a struggle with him. Paranoia, defensiveness. They were having issues with that abundance, with having everything you want. What else? Let me see. Let's clarify the struggle, Spirit. Clarify the struggle. I just want to show you that I'm shuffling. Easy to manipulate, guys. Full of in reverse. This struggle, this person was easy to... Let me see if you can see it. Okay, so the Fool upright's all about taking a chance, just going with the flow, jumping, just following your heart. But in the reverse, it's someone that's easy to manipulate, reckless, inconsiderate, naive, and careless. So in a way, he could be careless. He could have let her, to be honest, I feel like he probably let her control too much of things. Maybe his threat was to get some of his power, but it was too late because she already manipulated the situation. So that clarified the struggle, because there was some very careless mistakes he's made. And I think because he was so insecure with himself, what I'm feeling is that he was so insecure with himself. That's why. And anything else you want to tell us, Spirit, about this reading that I did? I wanted them kind of flip and come out. Anything else, Spirit? Oh, that one fell. Let's see. Imbalance, disorganization, inability to commit to anything, overextending. There was a lot of chaos because we have the 2 of Pentacles in reverse. There was just a lot of chaos going on at the time. And it was about finances. There was desperation. Somebody was feeling desperate about the situation. Because when it's upright, you're trying to find balance. When it's like this, there is no balance. There's chaos. There's disorder. There's someone overextending. And he could have been overextending in this situation. That's the energy. See, this is the energy of what's coming up from this reading. So I'm just saying, and like I said, this is for a lesson for you guys out there about people in your circle, about love too. People coming out the woodwork talking about, oh, you're so special, you're so gifted. Just be mindful, because we have a starseed that had an empath starseed that had it taken away from him in his very eyes. And look at this, guys. Oh, that happy home destroyed. That happy home destroyed. The 10 of Pentacles in reverse. I cannot make this up. I cannot make this lesson up. This was in the reverse. Ten of Pentacles is all about a healthy home, having everything you want. It's in the reverse. It's destroyed. Chapter's over. His life is over. His life was taken from him for material things, guys. There's people out there that want material things at any cost. And if you're shining bright, they will try to use you for it. So just be very mindful, who do you have in your energy. That's all I'm saying. Now, for real, this reading's over. I mean, I could go on I could go on and on this topic, because I feel like I have such a strong download, but I just want to get this message out. If you guys are interested in me doing in depth on this, let me know in the comments. I might do that. I might release, because I'm actually got stuff going on this today, so I'm just doing this real quick. But this energy is confirmed. This story I told you, this entertainment only story, is confirmed, guys. So that's all I want to say. Just be safe out there. Still shine. I'm not saying don't shine. Just shine bright. Let them flies, you know, there's going to be some gnats and flies going to be attracted to you. Just keep an eye out. Take this story that I told you as an example of what to be careful of and why I'm saying that. Because it's very detrimental, because you never know. When people get their claws on you, emotional manipulation is really hard to break. People, there's moms that do it to their kids. There's dad that do this to their kids. There's lovers that do it to their partners to keep them in the situation. So just keep that in mind. I love you guys. You guys take care. You have a great day. Bye.